G'day YouTube viewer, g'day bikers. Just thought I'd give you an update today on the two bikes, the largest capacity bike I own and also the smallest, that were both having issues with their batteries. The Suzuki Address 110 was completely flat. Even though I could kick it over and ride it, it wasn't functioning very well after a while when the battery was completely dead. And then the Harley Davidson, it was having trouble cranking over. Would do it sometimes, not others, tended to be better on hot days. I could tell the battery was on its way out, so I did some research and decided to replace it. Of course, I did a video recently about whether I should go lithium, gel or lead acid batteries, AGM. And of course the recommendation from Harley is to go with the Harley battery. I thought about getting a UASA battery for it. I decided to go back down the AGM path, the lead acid battery path, because that's what it came with, and I wanted a UASA YTX 20HL/BS, had 310 cranking capacity, and I thought that would be the way to go because what they recommend is the higher cranking capacity the better. But I couldn't get a UASA battery locally. If I drove an hour, I could go to a city and get them, but not locally, and I do like to support local when I can. And so I went to Battery World, Super Cheap, Repco, Autobahn, all those places. Super Cheap had a big special last weekend on the Century Everride batteries, and the one that I could have got for about $30 to $40 off the normal price, its cranking capacity was only 270, and I thought I wanted at least 310, which is why I wanted the UASA YTX 20HL/BS, and I couldn't get it there, none in stock, and it wasn't on that special promotion anyway. So I ended up going to Battery World, and when I did my research, it talked about another battery which was a GYZ 20HL, which is more expensive but had higher cranking capacity, higher CCA. It was 320, and the gentleman in the shop, when I said it was for a Harley, he said with a big V-twin like that, most people prefer, and they've had good feedback on, going for the higher spec or more heavy duty battery. So in the end I've gone for the GYZ 20HL, which is 320 CCA, and we'll kick it over in a minute and see how that goes. First of all, I'll kick over the Suzuki Address 110. Also ended up going with Century there, and the battery I got, I'll just come in and have a look at it, is a YTX 7L/BS, and it has 100 CCA, but of course a very small motor. The issue is not cranking power, the issue is reliability, maintenance free, all those sort of things, and I have ridden that, and it seems to go better than it ever has. So with both bikes, I'm wondering if they had been the Harley Davidson, when I bought it, it was the previous year's model, got a big discount because of that, but it's never been great at cranking over. I'm told that's fairly normal with the big V-twin engines on Harleys, but I was never completely happy that it was working well. I bought a trickle charger, had it on that, but in the end I had it on there all the time and it was still struggling cranking over, and it got to the point where basically it wouldn't start anymore. So what we'll do is I'll fire up the Suzuki first, the little scooter, and show you how quickly that performs. I've given it a couple of runs. Oh, we've got a helicopter in the sky, I don't know if you can see that. I've given it a couple of runs and it's performing really well. Sorry about the background noise, but I don't mind having helicopter noise in the background. And then we'll try and kick over the Harley for the first time with the new 320 CCA battery. I'll then take it for a ride and then come back and report on whether it's impacted anything else. I'll be able to know straight away whether the starting is a lot better, and you will witness that firsthand. Then I'll take it for a ride and report back to you as I go on that ride, and we'll see how we go. So here goes, let's fire both up. I'll do the scooter first. Alright, here we go. I've repositioned the bike just so it's a little bit clearer for you to see. Let's fire up. And that's what happened as soon as I put the new battery in. I wouldn't expect anything else. Took it for a ride, and as I mentioned before, it seems to be having a little bit more get up and go than it had and now we'll go to the Harley. So this is the first start. I'm going to fire up, make sure everything's working okay, see how quickly it starts, whether there's any issues, and then I'll gear up and take it for a ride. I should also mention in the next video I post after this one, you may have seen I did a video about a bike show I attended last weekend. I'm doing a follow-up video on that because there's some bikes I deliberately didn't include in that one because of what I want to do with the follow-up video. So that'll be coming next on the channel. But right now, make sure I've got my fob, and I replaced this battery in the fob as well when I was checking out the bike to see if there was another issue. Replaced the fob, didn't make any difference with the new battery that was. And so what we're going to see now, I'll make sure I've got it handy, is see if the Harley Davidson Heritage Softail Classic starts better with the brand new battery in it. Alrighty. Actually, I'll sit on it for this. So that's certainly a good sign. And here we go. Now, as you saw from startup, no issues. It cranked over easily, or more easily than I think it's ever done. And then out on the ride, what I noticed, it's a bit like the little Suzuki. It's got a little bit more pep than I remember. In every gear it seemed to pull better. Now, I don't know if that is a thing. If you have a high performing battery, I'm not mechanically minded, does that help with your bike's performance? Love to know in the comment section below. Would also love to hear what you think about my choice of batteries. Should I have gone further and bought the Yuasa, or should I have gone with the original OEM batteries? I think Yuasa is approved by Harley when you can't get the original OEM batteries, and my closest Harley dealer now is probably 3 hours away because the local dealership where I bought the bike from closed a couple of months ago. I know a lot of you suggested a gel battery, and I certainly looked at that, but I just decided at the end of the day to go what was readily available locally and something that was similar, like another AGM battery, to the original battery in the bike. If I'm not happy after 3 to 6 months, I'll let you know here on the channel. And if you swear by a particular brand and particular battery type, I would love to know what it is and why. The other thing I should mention in this video is the little Suzuki was a breeze to change. So easy, you just take off that front cover, undo the negative, unscrew the positive, remove the battery, and then reverse the procedure. Do the positive first and the negative second, and bang, you're ready to go out on the road. With the Harley, it was a much more difficult procedure. I had to take off the rear seat, the passenger seat, the side cover panel, undo 3 clips on the battery caddy, which were not the easiest to undo. And then there were also cables I had to pull out of the way, which were also connected to the caddy, and another cable that I had to disengage. It was fiddly. The battery is not easy to get at, but it took me about an hour. I didn't want to video that because it's the first time I've done it on this bike. I didn't want to embarrass myself, but I was very worried about it. But in the end, it proved easier than what I thought it was going to. Anyway, I'm very happy with the outcome. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already and would consider subscribing to the channel, would love it if you do that now. Really helps me out with this small channel, and it alerts other people interested in motorcycling like yourself into my content. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and until next time, happy motorcycling.